Are Cheta. Are Cheta. Cheta is referring to mind. Oh, my dear mind. Um, Prodhyat Kapata Kutinati. So these are the two words used by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kapata and Kutinati, which is deceit and hypocrisy. Kapata is deceit and Kutinati is hypocrisy. And Prodhyat is full blown, like fully manifesting. This when we manifest on a platform of um, hypocrisy and deceit, which we will discuss in more detail. If you are not very comfortable with these words, today is the discussion only on this deceit and hypocrisy. Bhar khada, bhar khada. Now, this is referring to the ass, donkey, donkey, who carries a heavy load, bhar on his back. Bhar khada, khada is donkey. This um, bhar khada is referring to donkey, and um, Sharan Mutre. Very Raghunath Das Goswami brings out in a very graphical manner these verses. Mutra is urine, urine. So the urine of donkey, the urine of an ass. Um, Sharan Mutre is like drop by drop, trickling urine. Snanatva is bathing. Dahasi, Dahasi is burning. Um, 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 Katham, why? Katha, why? Atmanam apimam. Atmanam is yourself, apimam and myself. Now I will explain and then it will become more clear. Oh my dear mind, why do you want to bathe in trickling urine of donkey, which is burning both you and me? Why do you want to bathe in urine of donkey, which is acidic by nature? So it is burning. It is burning the hasi, whom it is burning both you and me. What is you and me? Atmanam is yourself, apimam, and I am also suffering. Who is I? Spirit soul. And who is you? Mind. Because you are engaging in duplicity and hypocrisy, you are suffering. I am also suffering. Why am I suffering? Because it's strangling my devotion. So I'm finding it so difficult to um, focus on the holy name, to go deep in my devotion. Why? Because you want to be hypocritical and deceitful. I'm suffering, and you are also suffering because it simply gives more and more anxiety, and you're making me suffer also. And how we are suffering? We are burning. We are burning now. Another beautiful thing is snanatva. Snanatva is bathing. Why a person's bathe? A person's bathe to become clean. But what happens when we bathe ourselves in a urine? Now, donkey urine is not very good smelling. So why? What happens when we bathe in urine? We are simply um, becoming more dirtier. Um, so um, um, this okay now bathing is for cleanliness, but this bathing is simply making us more abominable, and that's why there is a hypocrisy in this itself. That's why he is compared. Raghunath Das Goswami compares to bathing with a cow urine, because it completely defeats the purpose of bathing, and that's duplicitous, means we are trying to do some activity which seems like devotion, uh, um, but we are actually incriminating ourselves in a way, and that's why bathing in cow urine. Another thing is, um, if 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 you see a very clean person, you may want to go near to him and talk to him because the person is very clean. But if you see a person who is very unclean and smell is coming out, then you will try to avoid being around that person. Likewise, when we are bathing in Krishna Prema, Sarvatma Snapanam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also refers to bathing in the first verse of SyKrPr. चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादवाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्ण अमृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नापनं परं विजयते Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. But their bathing is compared to Shri Krishna Sankirtan. That will purify the soul and make the soul very attracted to Krishna. But the bathing of urine is, if so, just like we don't want to go to an unclean person, when the divine couple sees, where Srimati Radharani sees that we are bathing ourselves, she doesn't want to come to us. When we are bathing ourselves with the donkey urine, she doesn't want to come close to us. But when we are bathing um, um, in Krishna Prema, then uh, then the mercy will come of the divine couple. Now, Sadatvam, therefore, what should we do? What should we do to counteract the hypocrisy? Of course, we will discuss in more detail, but this is summary. Sadatvam, therefore, you always. Gandharva Giridhari. Um, Gan- Gandharva is referred to Srimati Radharani. In fact, before Radha Gopi Janavallabha were installed, Malti Prabhu once said, we may name the deities in ISKCON Farmington Hills as Gandharvika Giridhari. One of the temple in England, the name of Radha Krishna deity there is Gandharvika Giridhari. Gandharvika is referred to Radharani, and Giridhari is holder of Giriraj, holder of Govardhan, Giridhari. Um, um, Pada Prema Vilasat. Pad Prema Vilasat is by the love emanating from the lotus feet of Gandharvika Giridhari. Sudham Budhau Snatva. So the word Snatva is used twice. In the second line it says Sharan Mutre Snatva. And the fourth line it is said Shuddham Budhau Snatva. Shuddham Budhau is the nectarian ocean of love. Shuddham Budhau Snatva. So we have two options. Either we bathe in the Sharan Mudra, in the urine of the donkey ass, by cheating ourselves. This is another aspect of deceit. Deceit means cheating. Kutinati, kapata, cheating. So we can, when we cheat others, we are actually cheating only ourselves. Um, um, because we are the one who will be cheated with Krishna's divinity. We will not be able to access Guru and Krishna's mercy if we are cheating by nature. Many times we have heard, be sincere, be sincere, be sincere. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, be sincere means not being deceitful. Opposite means don't do what is going to be described in today's discussion. If you don't do that, then you are sincere. And deceit in one line, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, is any desire other than pleasing Krishna. When we have other desire other than pleasing Krishna, when we have any other motive, then it is deceit. Deceit means cheating. Why? Because we are showing ourselves that the goal of my life is Krishna Prema, and my life is dedicated, and all I want is to serve and please, and I want to do everything for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. But in certain activities, I forget about it, and then my mood is sense gratification, and that is cheating ourselves. And when we engage in those kind of activities of cheating, hypocrisy, deceit, um, we are cheating nobody else. We're not cheating anyone else. We are cheating ourselves. It doesn't matter what others think about ourselves. What is our intention? The thing is, we are barred from the mercy of Gandharvika and Giridhari and our spiritual master. So instead of bathing in the cheating tendency of uh, donkey urine, we should, when we bathe ourselves in the love emanating from the nectarian ocean of love, from the lotus feet of Gandharvika Giridhari, when we bathe in that, um, then we can overcome this deceit or this cheating propensity or hypocrisy. What does hypocrisy means? Now we understand deceit, cheating. What does duplicitous means? It is similar to hypocrisy. What does duplicitous or hypocrisy means? We have two sides: hypocritical. Um, mm, mm. Duplicitous behavior means on one side we want Krishna Prema, on other side, in the name of Krishna Prema, in the name of devotional service, in the name of bhakti, we engage in some sort of sense gratification, some other desire other than pleasing Krishna. We don't have desire at that those moments when we are deceitful that about serving the divine couple, but our desire is, I want to enjoy. At least at this point of time, I want to enjoy. So this is called deceit or cheating, cheating or hypo or duplicitous and double-sided. Um, we may do something. We may um, um, go and talk to someone. We may visit someone's home. We may um, do um, we may do something in the name of this is my service to Krishna, but internally I have desire for sense gratification. This is being duplicitous. On one side, I am trying to do it because it is Krishna's service. On another side, I have ulterior motives. And this is lack of sincerity. Um, and this is much more subtler than lust, envy, and pride. Because when lust, envy, and pride comes, we know this is wrong. I'm becoming proud. This is rejected. I'm envious of this devotee. Rejected. I'm having lusted desire. This is rejected. Why deceit is even more subtle? Because I don't realize it. Because I think this is my service to my spiritual master. This is devotional service, and I don't even realize myself, but my desire is something other than serving Krishna in those particular acts, and that's what make us deceitful. Um, so that's why Raghunath Das Goswami says, even though the six anarthas may go, this cheating, and whom we are cheating ourselves. Whom are we cheating? We will be barred of the mercy of the divine mercy of Guru and Krishna. And the only way to overcome our deceitful nature, one time I think I shared before, Gita Nagari, I believe 2014. Um, I was hearing a lecture by my spiritual master. Previously, my spiritual master used to do a yearly retreat in Gita Nagari. Maybe 2013, 2014, I don't remember which year. Um, One time, my spiritual master said that was talking about weeds growing in the path of devotion, and he said these weeds are so subtle that we don't realize whether I am watering really the weed or whether I am watering the bhakti latta. And he said, unfortunately, most of us are watering the weed and we don't realize. And that is because the gross anarthas itself, lust, anger, envy, greed, are so heavy on us. It's so difficult to analyze this Kutinati. That's why, interestingly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he says these weeds are unlimited in number, he does not say Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsara, because it is so gross, so easy to identify. But he says Kapata Kutinati, and he uses few more terms that will come in our discussion after um, Shri Krishna Janmashtami. So instead, if we engage our mind, nitaram, nitaram means always, nitya, nitaram, always in bathing in the love emanating from the lotus feet of ocean of nectarian love emanating from the lotus feet of Gandharvika Giridhari, Mam cha Sukhaya, then we can actually become happy. Happy. But when we bathe in this deceitful activities, um, we lose our devotion, and that causes lot of spiritual pain and anxiety, emptiness in our heart. Okay, let's have someone read the translation.
Okay, Prabhuji. While here on the rebel path of devotion, I have been attacked by the gangs of my own lust, etc., who have bound my neck with the trouble, O ruffian mind. Why do you burn yourself and me, the soul, by bathing in the trickling urine of a great donkey of full, full-blown hypocrisy and duplicity? Instead, you should always bathe in the ocean of love emanating from the lotus feet of Sri Sri Gandharvika Giridhari, thereby delighting yourself and me.
Mhm. Okay. Um, One thing is the reason there are such striking contrasts being used. One is bathing in um, the urine coming from donkey, and bathing in love emanating from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and Shri Gopi Janavallabha. Such contrasting, such striking contrast to make us feel a gulp of difference, and help us come out when we act with a deceitful nature. This is not good, because that remind us um, of donkey urine. Instead, let me take the shelter of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Okay, okay. Now, this I will read because it's just few points. Bathing in donkey urine of hypocrisy and duplicity. Um, this is again commentary by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhajan Darpana. Um, Three categories of sadhakas Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes. One is Swanishtha, one is Parinishtha, one is Nirapeksha. Um, Swanishtha are Grahasthas, Parinishtha is another kinds of Grahasthas, and Nirapeksha renunciates. And I will explain both of them, Swanishtha and Parinishtha. So basically, two different kinds of Grahasthas and one renunciate. They both exhibit hypocrisy and duplicity in their own ways. Um, um, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to explain various ways in which duplicity can attack us. They can grow in bhakti only if they can grow in bhakti, these renunciates and grahasthas. They can grow in bhakti only if they give up deceit, pretense, and hypocrisy, else they will be vanquished. They all have distinct ways of exhibiting deceitful nature. Again, there is not much to discuss here. Lot of pictures that will help us graphically understand. Now, as you see in this current picture, um, there is grahastha, there are renunciates, and there are all kind of devotees, and they are doing everything for the pleasure of the divine couple, spiritual master Tulsi Devi, and chanting the holy names. So they are very nice devotees. Um, Now, These 2 3 slides I will read just because the nature of these slides. 6 deceitful ways of Swanishtha devotees. Now, Swanishtha means householders who do not follow the path of Varnashram Dharma. Uh, Example of Swanishtha devotees is Grahastha couples who are serving full time in the temple. Um, um, just an example. They um, yeah, they have dedicated their lives, although in Grahastha ashram, they have dedicated their lives in service of the Lord. So they have kind of um, rejected the path of Varnashram Dharma, um, and they can become deceitful also. Parinishta devotees are those who are practicing devotional service along with the path of Varnashram Dharma. They can exhibit deceit, and they can be renunciates like brahmacharis and sannyasis, and they can exhibit deceits, and they all exhibit deceits in similar or different ways. So first we will see the deceit of Swanishtha devotees. Now when we are talking about them, it may be true for Parinishta or Grahasthas who are following Varnashram, or for one renunciates. All these things can be equally applicable to everyone, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur has defined in 3 categories. So one is indulging in sense gratification in the name of satisfying Krishna. This is like the first image. This is my service to Krishna, but the goal is still sense gratification. Now, there is a deceit present there. Um, of course, Srila Prabhupada did allow to eat nice prasadam, because we have to enjoy some way. That principle is there. It can be any other sense gratification in the name of this is my service to Krishna, but they can be doing some kind of sense gratification. This is again very specific to the Grahastha devotees who may join and serve in a temple, may live a very Krishna conscious life, but may be attracted to sense gratification. Then serving rich influential materialists instead of serving simple nirapeksha servants. So sometime they can develop familiarity towards nirapeksha or renunciate sannyasis, and uh, instead of taking their association, they can be very much attracted to um, rich influential materialists. Why? Because they want to preach to these particular affluent people, um, um, because if they become devoted through me, then I will get some benefit out of it, and I can raise funds through them, and a part of the funds I can keep it for myself. So these are the various ways in which deceit is exhibited, or they can go serve and do something which is Krishna service, but their mood is not just Krishna service. Their mood is um, I will be benefited out of it. It is not mainly then for pleasing Krishna, but I have some benefit there. Then accumulating more wealth than would ever be needed. So they can work in many ways, um, and they can try many means, but they miss out the whole purpose of reawakening their loving relationship with Gandharvika Giridhari, and they get deviated, and then they try to fulfill their desires which they have earlier. They are trying to fulfill even after serving full time, and they still maintain their desires, and then they still look forward how to fulfill those desires. So these are some of the examples of deceit, and they are described 500 years, not 500 years, 200 years back by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. in Bhajan Darpan. There can be many more ways also, but these are the striking ways in which a person can be attracted. As you see in a third picture, this lady is very attracted to, she's a Swanistha devotee, full time serving, but very attracted to nice suits and saris and different things and different things so that she can showcase her beauty. And again, there is a deceitful nature there. Then this fourth picture, teaching twisted logic and self-motivated speculation in the name of giving education instead of cultivating spiritual knowledge. So they discuss philosophy, they present scriptures, um, but their internal motive is to prove their point. Their internal motive to present scriptures is to fulfill their own desires. So it's called twisted logic, self-motivated speculation. Um, the goal, now they know the scriptures very well, but they want to impress upon other something uh, that they really want others to do, but they say it in the name of scriptures. And they say, well, I heard in a lecture by this devotee that this should not be like this, and that devotee that should not be like this. And the motive is not purely for the pleasure of the deities, for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, um, but there is, it's called twisted logic. There is some self motivation included in that. So these are various ways deceit can come out, which we may not realize that actually I am becoming deceitful. One grahastha ashram, one Prabhu was telling, Prabhuji, me and my wife, we always argue based on scriptures. We try to prove each other that we are right and we are right and we are right and we are right. And the reason we both are trying to prove that we both are right, because it is, that situation is comfortable for us and there is no Krishna in the picture. And that's one category. They know the scriptures, but they are carried over by personal desire. And coming back to the point that we discussed in the very beginning, um, any desire other than pleasing Krishna comes under the category of deceit or cheating. Cheating. Whom are we cheating? Ourselves. We cannot cheat Krishna. Krishna is sitting in our heart. We are cheating ourselves. Um, like today Bhagavatam class, we were discussing that how this deceit can trick us so nicely. For example, there is a time to hear Bhagavatam class. There is a time to hear Krishna Katha. And how we can cheat ourselves? Oh, I have so many things to do. Let me do those things. Whom are we cheating? Whom are we cheating? Krishna is sitting in our heart. Krishna says, oh, this person does not want to hear about me. And we may think this is very bona fide, but the thing is, Krishna is sitting in our heart. We cannot cheat anyone. Krishna knows as it is. And um, recently, very nice class given by Rasika Bhuvi Prabhu on Balramji, and he was mentioning, quoting Krishna. Of course, Krishna says in 11th chapter Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter Bhagavad Gita, among the cheaters and the best of the cheat. So when we try to cheat, we become cheated by Krishna. How we are cheated by Krishna? We don't get Krishna Prema. And what we get is delusion. Delusion. Because Krishna sees our intention. When our intention is something other than Krishna Prema, we get other things. Just as you approach me, I reciprocate accordingly. And it's the mood. It's the mood. Or we may be coming from Srimad Bhagavatam classes or different discussions. If our mood is, when will this be over? I'm not interested to hear Harikatha. Um, it's inside. It's inside. And again, we are becoming incriminated by this. Sharamutra, by this urine of donkey. Um, Krishna watches us every moment, and we cannot cheat Krishna. All we do is we cheat ourselves, and we become cheated by Krishna. And why this is so subtle? Because we don't realize it. And that's why, even only after, or even though we may have conquered lust, anger, envy, greed, pride, this cheating propensity, this cheating us from Krishna prema, deceit, this duplicitous behavior, trying to be a great devotee of the Lord but internally cultivating other desires which are unfavorable to Krishna. That's why, see, it's very easy to understand, but realize ourselves. Um, we don't realize ourselves so easily. By the great mercy of Raghunath Das Goswami and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, through their teachings, we can improve ourselves. Like in the beginning, we were discussing ManahShiksha. There are two ways. One way is keep practicing and going through difficult times simultaneously, getting robbed and practicing, and getting robbed and practicing, and then after decades we realize these are things not to do. That's unintelligent way to learn. Intelligent way to learn is just hear from Raghunath Das Goswami on different impediments on the path of bhakti. Now nobody very frequently speak on these topics, because these topics are can be appreciated and understood only by very sincere devotees. These topics cannot be understood by everyone. For example, new people, they are chanting 2 4 rounds and they are engaging in material activities. And if you tell them this seed, they are like, oh, this is too much, we just can't do it. And they just cannot relate to it. Only a devotee who has made the goal of their life Krishna Prema, who are fully dedicated to serving Krishna, who want to go back to God in this life, only those people can appreciate this kutinati and kapata, deceit, duplicity, hypocrisy, because they are just so subtle by nature. So this is twisted logic and self-motivated speculation, which is driven by our comfort. And I don't have image for next two. Of course, these all images are taken from a book by one of Srila Prabhupada disciples, Urmila Mataji, and she has composed a book with Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary, Shivram Maharaj commentary, Sachendra Maharaj commentary, Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj commentary, Jayadvaita Maharaj commentary, Sachinandan Swami commentary on these verses, and that gives us very enlightened version of ManahShiksha coming from all pure devotees of the Lord, beginning with Raghunath Das Goswami and Bhaktivinoda Thakur and all our um, mm, sannyasis in our prominent sannyasis in our society. Then enthusiasm for meaningless temporary gains, even at the cost of envying and harming others. Sometimes we may be so much driven by our temporary gains, um, um, that we may not think about somebody else's feeling, and we may become very enthusiastic to gain such material things, meaningless temporary things, that we don't even care about envying and harming others. Why? Driven, motivated by our desire of comfort, that we don't see that in gaining what I want to gain, I'm harming somebody. Can be a family member, can be a friend, can be another devotee, because so driven that this is what I want. Again, the purpose is again self-driven. Now, very very simple words. Rupa Goswami gave a definition of pure devotional service, and he says, "Anya Bilashitam Shunya," having no other desire other than serving Krishna. Now, um, what does that mean? Having no other desire, there are so many things that are included in that. That's why it is complete and it is the most concise. And Raghunath Das Goswami Bhaktivedanta Thakur expands them in many, many ways just to tell us what not to do and what to do. And we should be eager. We should be now. How these things will help to identify. Next time when those thought comes, when we have heard them and discussed them, when those thought comes, we can relate, because now they are, after hearing it, they are no more subtle. They are now gross to us because we have heard about them. And then wearing the dress of a materially disinterested renunciate in order to gain material prestige. Mm. Wearing the dress of a materially disinterested renunciate in order to gain material prestige. Dressing ourselves in such a way, um, mm, to gain showing off as spiritual person. Sometimes people wear spiritual dress and go to some functions, put a big tilak, and they show off as they are very saintly people, but in their heart they have kutinati. Okay, let's go to Parinishta devotees. Parinishta devotees are those who are following the path of Varnashram and couple of deceitful nature. Okay, let's start reading from here now.
Uh, Two deceitful ways Parinistha devotees. The deceitful nature can be exhibited in two further ways. First, making an external show of strictly following rules and prohibitions while inwardly being very attached to material subjects unrelated to Krishna. And second is preferring the association of non-devotees rather than Krishna conscious devotees.
Mm. So making a now, this is the first picture here. The first one, making an external show of strictly following rules and prohibitions while inwardly being very attached to subjects matter unrelated to Krishna. So you see, this person is wearing dhoti kurta chadar, and it says strict Vaishnavism. He's carrying a book. He's standing in front of Radha and Krishna deities, but behind you see a movie going on where a husband and wife, or I don't know who they are, what is the relationship, embracing each other, and there is a chips chips lying on his table, and some other things which I cannot really understand. Um, uh, I think some books of uh, not good character. Anyways, so he show himself as a very strict devotee. He wants to become a nice devotee, but he is simultaneously cultivating um, 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 sensuous desires and sinful desires. So this is another way one can deceive himself that I am a very nice devotee, but internally no. What happens? Remember, I mean, going back to second chapter. Yesterday also I was quoting this verse. Um, Krishna says those who are very attracted to sense gratification, the determination for devotional service does not take place. So when we are attached to desires like what this person is attached on the backside, then he will not have that dedication and determination to serve Krishna. He will do the minimum, but he will have weak enthusiasm and weak determination, and he will always go here and there looking for some sort of sense gratification. um, okay, second one, preferring the association of non-devotees rather than Krishna conscious devotees. And we see in the other person, other they like to associate with with non-devotees because they get some kind of subtle sense gratification in that association, instead of being surrounded by Krishna conscious devotees. Okay, okay. And this I will read because there are short lines. Deceit in Nirapeksha or renounced order. Um, Thinking of oneself as an advanced devotee. Now, this is written with respect to renounce order, but some of it may be applicable to all of us in the room. That's why, for the completeness of discussion, I still decided to include them. And here we see a sannyasi having a danda, and he's looking himself in a mirror, and he's thinking, I am, and there are devotees behind offering obeisances to his sannyas ashram, and he looks at himself. He's wearing a saffron cloth, he's a renunciate, he has so many disciples, and he's thinking that I'm a very advanced devotee. It naturally may happen that when many people pay respect to one, then he may start thinking that actually I deserve that respect, and he may start cheating himself that what he is, what who he is, and he may start thinking, no, actually I am a very nice, great devotee of the Lord. Very good example of this is Pondarak. Pondarak comes in Krishna Lila. There is a chapter in Krishna book, and Srila Prabhupada describes the story of Pondarak. He was a king, and his descendants and his ministers wanted to please King Pondarak. So they started glorifying Pondarak, that actually you are a very divine person, and see, you are so charitable. There are no problems in your kingdom. Whatever decision you made turns to be perfect every time. Whatever you desire happens. Actually, you are Narayan himself, and you have descended as a Poundrak in order to set a good example. And Poundrak initially thought, oh, they are just glorifying. He felt happy because ego is very pleased when we are glorified. um, and he said, no, what they are telling is not right. And because repeated glorification, day after day, month after month, year after year, Pounderak started believing initially that yes, I am divine, yes, I am advanced, to the extent it went that, oh, actually I am Narayan. He started thinking like that. And then finally, in a fight with Krishna, he said that, Krishna, you are an imposter. I am actually Narayan. And then they had a fight, and Krishna killed him. And Pondarak Nitai Gaur Prema Hari Bol. So the idea is, when somebody The idea is, when somebody glorify oneself or pays respect, obeisances, then one may start feeling that actually I deserve it, and um, that is the seed. Okay, then second is thinking of oneself as superior to others simply by wearing a dress of a renounced order. This we discussed. This is another man, he's having a renounced order. I mean, the picture is exaggerated, but the thing is, he's thinking that all these people are under me and I am a very advanced devotee, and I'm better than others. So this is another way a deceit can cheat us, because then we tend to forget who we are and what is our devotion and where we stand and how far we are and how much deceit we ourselves have and how much lust, anger, envy, greed we have, and what to speak about other anarthas, and how much devotion we really have struggling. So we may forget all those things and we may go with the externals and we may cheat ourselves. Like today morning after Bhagavatam class, one devotee came to me and he said, Prabhuji, I want to stop giving classes. I said, why? He said, because I gave two classes and I received messages that very nice class. And I noticed that um, 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 this feeling is coming in me, and I hate this feeling. And I noticed that people have started considering me as something important person because I'm giving classes, and I don't like this feeling, and I just want to stop giving class altogether. I said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered everyone. not only you and me, but every devotee in ISKCON. Amara आगे तारा ही तारा ही देश. Amara आगे guru है तारा ही देश. It is my instruction that all of you become gurus, that all of you take uh, take devotees. No one is here better or worse. We are all a society of Srila Prabhupada, and we are trying to serve Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual master. And our goal is together, the whole ISKCON society, which include thousands of people, together trying to um, serve other living entities who are forgetful of Krishna, to help them remind that you are a spirit, so you are part and parcel of Krishna. And by chanting Hare Krishna and sincerely reading scriptures, you can go back to Godhead. Otherwise, this is an endless cycle of birth and death. And it is our duty, having received this knowledge, is to share the knowledge. Very simple. Um, what is our position? Servants. We are all servants. And what is our goal? We are serving our spiritual master. We are not serving any other living entity. Of course, we are serving, but that is service to our spiritual master. We all are trying to serve our spiritual master or spiritual masters, and our goal is we are servants trying to do the work of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had descended with unlimited fruits of love of Godhead. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, well, I need your help. I have unlimited fruits. I cannot distribute these many fruits. I need your help to please help me distribute these fruits. So, what is our position? We are fruit sellers, and we take fruits from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First, we don't have that fruit ourselves of love of Godhead, but yeah, in whatever way, still we can recover by a medium of our spiritual master who has fruits, even though we may not have fruits. So we are all servants, and we are trying to go home to home and give fruits. That's it. And they say, what is the price we have to pay for this fruit? This fruit is so nice. It is so tasty. It is tastier than mango, so yummy. What is the price we have to pay? Shraddha. Just accept it. Just have faith that this fruit is good for you and accept it. And our spiritual masters and Mahaprabhu has shown that's our position. And we must continue our service and train ourselves, so that, and as we do this service, which Mahaprabhu wanted us to do, our spiritual master has open instructions. Srila Prabhupada has open instruction for all of us. Um, um, it will deepen our devotion. So our goal is first to purify ourselves, and our goal is deepen our devotion. We cannot be selfish and just sit in one corner and read the books of our acharyas and goswamis. Our first duty is to serve our spiritual master, whether we like it or not, as a matter of duty, and that will help deepen our devotion. So, but if one thinks I am better than others, then we become incriminated by deceit. And the third is collecting material wealth for food and clothing more than required. Sometime in denounce order or anyone, when they get some gift, they can become very excited. Oh, uh, iPad, iPhone, Apple laptop, and new pairs of clothes, very nicely ironed, and new chadar, looks very nice. And then, oh, you want me to use this car, very nice car, okay, I will use it. So they may be looking for oh, let me go to that devotee's home. Why? Because I will speak about Krishna Katha with them. But what is my motive? Well, they will serve me very nice prasad, and I will get very nice food. And whenever I go to their home, they will give me some donation. So let me go there more and more often. So collecting material wealth, food, clothing more than required. Yes, if it is necessary for your basic needs, accept it. But when more than required, then it is deceit in renounced order. Then improperly associating with opposite sex in the name of spiritual practices. And you see in this picture this a renounced order person surrounded by six ladies and trying to discuss Harikatha with them. So his motive is not uh, assisting them to serve his spiritual master, in serving them to go closer to Krishna, but his motive is I'm attracted to opposite sex. That's why I want to associate with opposite sex. Um, and then again, it's one becomes deceitful. That's why in the renounced order, there are so many rules and regulations that we follow. And then there are some more. Um, Fifth is staying with materialistic people with the expectation of receiving wealth rather than visiting Krishna's temple. This is more of people who are in the householder life and renounce order, like Vanaprastha ashram. They may go, this is the first picture, visit materialistic people because they get something, they get respect, and they get some material. So again, they are bathing themselves with cow urine, then being inwardly anxious and worried about collecting more and more wealth while making a pretense of performing devotional service or chanting. One may be into fundraising, one may cultivate, one may speak very nicely, one may speak about Krishna Katha, and one may be eager. If I speak Krishna Katha and help him, and if he develops faith, then he will give me more wealth. Um, so when we are anxious for that, in the name of hearing, chanting, and preaching, deceit, then being more concerned with external dress and rules and regulations than devotion to Krishna. How I look, do I look nice? Are my clothes looking very nice? And of course, the Prabhupada said, be presentable, but very much overly concerned about my looks, so that others are attracted to me because of my looks rather than the message I have, rather than the message of Krishna bhakti. And this is overlooking and neglecting the main purpose of spiritual life, which is developing love of Krishna. So there are these three devotees, all renunciates. They come, they serve Radha Krishna in the fourth picture, but then they have in their life at some point of time these before seven mentioned deceit. So these are deceit in nirapeksha. Now it is not that these are the only forms. There are unlimited forms in which deceit can occur. Simple verse is any desire other than pleasing Guru and Krishna comes in the comes in the direction of deceit. And again, repeating the same thing. It's not easy to identify them, and that's where my spiritual master said, most of us are watering the weeds. He said most of you, he said most of you sitting in this room are watering the weeds, thinking that I am watering bhakti. Why? Because so many desires we are cultivating, which are not really going back to Godhead or pleasing Guru and Krishna. So many desires we are cultivating, and knowingly unknowingly we are becoming hypocritical, deceitful, and we are cheating ourselves. We are barring ourselves from Krishna Bhakti. Hypocrisy. Okay, let's read this.
Hypocrisy manifests in the form of diplomacy, mercilessness, and meeting to gossip with others and criticize. All these forms fall under this realm of hypocrisy. Because hypocrisy means that I pretend that I am doing one thing. In other words, I behave to their face in one way, but behind their back, I do something completely different.
Hypocrisy, hypocritical, or duplicity. Two sides. Um, Manifest in the form of diplomacy. Diplomacy means we are not straightforward. We are diplomatic. Means um, we are not just being honest. Like one very small example. I don't know if I say this, but one devotee was washing pots, and another devotee, and then there was someone who wanted to wash pots. He wanted to take the pot washing service. So this devotee, he said, I can wash only on this day. So this devotee wanted to favor the new devotee to wash pots and get some service. So he told the devotee who was already washing pots that, Prabhu, can you um, water the plants? Because see, watering the plants is easier. If you water the plants, then you don't have to do much physical labor, and it's very nice. It's in the nature's activity of mode of goodness. Or do you prefer washing pots? It's more difficult. Now there is some diplomacy there. Diplomacy means you are trying to convince the other person. Now we have to be diplomatic in a Krishna conscious way, of course. um, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, this particular example, but just recently I noticed. But I'm not saying what happened here is wrong or right, but I'm trying to explain diplomacy. Diplomacy means we want things to go our way, and we are trying to convince the other person so that he thinks that I have no other motive. I just want his welfare. But in the end, I am the one who is getting benefited. Now, diplomacy can be used in Krishna's service. How we use in Krishna's service is um, um, when we deal with government, and then we say um, um, that suppose we want Rath Yatra festival, and we say Rath Yatra is a cultural festival. It will we want to showcase our culture, and we may say these things. We may present in a way that it becomes attractive. That they should give us permission for Rath Yatra. Now we should be diplomatic there, because we cannot. Or when we meet a new person and we say, "Well, just chant one round and your life will become perfect." And don't worry, what about my bad habits? Don't worry about your bad habits. We never say people what not to do, but in the end we do tell people these are the regulative principles you should follow. May not be right in the beginning, so we are diplomatic. But diplomacy to sincere devotees among each other, or for ulterior motive in devotee circle, especially diplomacy to senior devotees, what to speak about diplomacy to spiritual master, then we are incriminated in this disease of being hypocritical. And then mercilessness means we show to them that I really care about you, and oh, your chanting was very bad today. Oh, okay. And internally we have no feeling for them. We don't care about what they feel, if they are doing good, if they are struggling. This is from Krishna conscious perspective, but it can be um, we are insensitive to others pain, and all we care about, am I doing fine? Now this is hypocrisy. We are showing as we are very compassionate natured, very nice, loving, um, but there is no love. All there is hypocrisy. Our love is more of hypocritical. These are very deep, very deep. And to the extent we advance in our own Krishna consciousness, that extent we will realize these things in ourselves. That's why now we are going very subtle, and meeting to gossip with others and criticize. So we may want to go and take devotee association, but we may just want to gossip and have some. We, in the name of Vaishnav Sangha, our goal is दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है, थोड़ा बातचीत करो, थोड़ा something. It is not really Krishna, but I want to talk about so many things. Or maybe I don't like a devotee or somebody, then I want to meet and discuss how bad this person is, and I just want to criticize and find fault and do gossip. But it seems like this is Krishna consciousness, is Vaishnava association. One moment of association of devotees can free me from cycle of birth and death, but there is no Hari Katha in that association. So this is all hypocritical. Um, and it's favorable to Krishna consciousness, yet there is a motive other than pleasing Guru and Krishna in those activities. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the forms of Kutinati and Kapat are unlimited by nature, and it's very difficult to distinguish between when we are watering the weeds and when we are watering the bhakti lata beach. All these forms fall under this realm of hypocrisy, because hypocrisy means that I pretend that I am doing one thing. I am doing one thing, but it's a pretension. My internal and my external don't match. Don't match. I behave to their face in one way, but behind their back I do something completely different. I have different intentions, inwardly and outwardly. This is hypocrisy. Okay, okay. Now, um, it's very difficult to understand, but if we are understanding and getting a feel of it, that's sufficient. And the more you read, um, the more you grow, the more you read it again and again, it will reveal deeper and deeper realizations, because this subject matter is so subtle actually. Okay, let's read this.
Various cheating propensities, kapatata, such as bad arguments, kutarka, false philosophical conclusions, kusiddhanta, and maintaining impediments to devotional service, anarthas, arise from a deceitful nature. All of these propensities are very detrimental to true Krishna consciousness and are compared to the urine of a donkey.
Hmm. Kapatata or kapata, various cheating propensities. Some example are bad arguments. Now, um, why we use sometimes bad arguments? Because we have an ulterior motive, and there is something visible and there is something within. And then when we give preference to something within us, then something which is directly pleasing Guru and Krishna, these arguments will come out. False philosophical conclusions is again kusiddhanta, something we discussed, to fulfill our needs. These are all cheating ourselves. Maintaining impediments to devotional service. I know this is not good for my devotional service, yet I want to do it. This is what Saraswati Thakur says when he says after 10 years, some people have made so much advancement, some have not advanced sufficiently. Why is there a difference? Although both are chanting 16 rounds. And he gave the example of the 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 bride who are going for marriage, and they were rowing the bow, and the bow was tied with an anchor, and they realized in the morning that we haven't moved far because we were anchored. We could go as long as the anchor allow us to go. And this is like, we know our anarthas. Paramatma tells us these are our anarthas, but we want to maintain them. We don't want to give them up. So whom are we cheating? Ourselves. We know this is not good for us, but I want it. I want to maintain these anarthas. So some things, so this is like Saraswati Thakur said, we have so many anchors. And we tell Krishna, well, my lord, this is what I want to do, but here, please don't touch me. I want to maintain these anarthas. I cannot live without these anarthas. Again, these are various um, kutinati, kapata, various cheating propensity, bad arguments, falsely philosophical speculation to fulfill our needs, maintaining our anarthas, they all arise from deceitful nature. All these propensities are detrimental to true Krishna consciousness and compared to urine of a donkey. And also, when we are deceitful, we offend devotees. Um, um, uh, Jayadvaita Maharaj mentions that when we are deceitful, when we are hypocritical, we offend devotees. Why? Because we have an ulterior motive within us. And when our ulterior motive is attacked, um, um, other than pleasing Guru and Krishna, when we have ulterior motive, when that is attacked, we cannot take it. Or anarthas is attacked. So it is our own deceit which make us be disrespectful and offensive. Okay, so these are all, we know all those things, but they are all more of the result arising from deceit and hypocrisy. All right, congratulations. So we have almost come towards the end. Now, um, this is instead bathed in the love. Now something very sweet. Just I think 3 4 slides. Just little bit prayers on how we can pray and how we can overcome this deceit. This is again quoted by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, um, quoting a book by Rupa Goswami called Stavamala. Tom असौ यचते नत्वा विलुत्थन यमुना तटे काकोभिर्व्याकुला स्वान्तो जनो वृन्दावनेश्वरी कृतागसकेऽपि अयोग्येऽपि जनेऽस्मिन् कुमतावपि दास्यदानप्रदानस्य लवम् अपि उपपादया युक्तस्त्वया जनो नैव दुःखितोऽयम् उपेक्षितं कृपाद्योताद्रवच्चित्ता Navanitasi Yat Sada. Now, very, very beautiful prayers. Let's read this. The more and more we read, the more we absorb in the mood of these prayers. Very, very beautiful prayer.
O Sri Radha, I offer obeisances to you. I, a distressed soul belonging to you, beg you with sweet words while rolling on the banks of the Yamuna. Although I am unfit, an offender with the crooked mind, please bestow on me a fragment of the gift of service to you. This unhappy soul is not fit to be neglected by you, for you have a butter soft heart that melts constantly by the warmth of your compassion.
Yeah, very, very beautiful prayer. Actually, we can remember these verses and chant every day in the morning because it's just they so much include the mood of what we need to do and in order to handle the hypocrisy in us which we are unable to overcome, the deceit in us which we are unable to overcome. O Sri Radha, I offer obeisances unto you. I, a distressed soul belonging to you, um, one important point is realizing the hypocrisy in us and realizing that I am so helpless in this hypocrisy and deceit within me. Um, um, and taking a humble position, thinking that I am so degraded, I am so fallen, and I have so much of this hypocrisy. How much hypocrisy do I have? I am full of it. I am full of hypocrisy and deceitful nature. And then when we genuinely feel it, then this prayer will become very, very efficient for us. Oh Sri Radha, now I, a distressed soul, now we really are feeling distressed and then we call this prayer out, we can call out with feeling that I, a distressed soul, belonging to you, beg you with sweet words while rolling on the banks of the Yamuna. The idea is taking the dust on our head of the bank of Yamuna. So I am rolling with sweet words. I, a distressed soul, beg you with sweet words while rolling on the banks of Yamuna. So we can imagine ourselves in the bank of Yamuna in a very distressed state rolling. Although I am unfit and offended with a crooked mind, why my mind is crooked? That's why I am so hypocritical, I am so duplicitous, and I have so many ulterior motives, and my purpose is not to please the divine couple and serve my spiritual master. In the name of service to divine couple and spiritual master, I am just trying to satisfy my um, uh, ulterior motives, my inner desires. I am just listening to my crooked mind. I am just satisfying my anarthas. So although I am unfit, now obviously when I am doing all these things, I am unfit. Although I am unfit and offended with a crooked mind, why? I am showing that I am a very spiritual person and I want to serve the divine couple. Um, I am an offender. I am an offender. I am an offender with a crooked mind. My mind is very crooked. What should I do? I mean, this is realizing our hypocrisy, taking a humble position, and becoming distressed naturally. Please bestow on me a fragment of the gift of service to you. Now, we have to counteract this such a negative thing with something positive. So, what is that positive? Um, Please bestow me a fragment of the gift of service to you. Allow me to serve you. Give me this gift. What is the gift I want? Um, Give me the gift of service to you, please. Please give me the gift of service to you. Please give me the gift of service to you. That until I get the gift of service to you, I will keep running behind my crooked mind. So please give me the gift of service to you. This unhappy soul is not fit to be neglected by you. Now we are fit to be neglected. We are talking about myself, highly degraded. So this unhappy soul, sometimes I say true, most of the time I hide myself. So this unhappy soul is not fit to be neglected by you. Why? For you have a butter soft heart that melts constantly by the warmth of your compassion. Um, she has compassion. Um, she has a butter soft heart. So when she sees that I am distressed and I am humbled by my own behavior, then because her heart is so much filled with compassion, although I am worthy of being neglected, I am still not fit to be neglected because of just who she is. So this unhappy soul is not fit to be neglected by you, for you have a butter soft heart that melts constantly by the warmth of your compassion. So I constantly beg you day after day, um, please give me the gift of your service. Until you give me that, I don't know how I will be able to overcome my crooked mind. And it's disgusting. My crooked mind is disgusting. I have no hopes by myself to overcome this duplicitous behavior and this cheating propensity in me. Your heart is very soft, you're full of love and compassion. Please give me a gift of service to you. So Shivram Maharaj says one should learn this prayer and offer it every day in the morning. So we are trying to kind of remind ourselves and training ourselves to take shelter, take shelter of her. So this is now we are talking about bathing in the love emanating from Shri Shri Gandharvika Giri. Till we experience that love coming through her. See, the moment we act on deceit, we lose our devotion and we become empty in our heart. And the more and more we fill our heart and soul with the love emanating from the lotus feet of Shri Shri Gandharvika Giridhari, that love will easily have us come out of duplicity easily. But we have to fully absorb ourselves in the love emanating from the lotus feet of Shri Shri Gandharvika Giridhari. This is another very beautiful prayer. Radha Radha Madhavayor etad Vakshe Nama Yugashtakam Radha Damodaro Purvam Radhika Madhavo Tatha Vrishabhanu Kumari cha Tatha Gopendra Nandana Govindasya Priya Sakhi Gandharva Bandhavastatha Nikunja Nagaro Ghoshta Kishora Janashekaro Vrindavanadhiko Krishna Vallabha Radhika Priyo. So what we just chanted again is taken from Stavamala by Srila Rupa Goswami. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is bringing out this prayer. These are called Nama Yuga Ashtakam, the 8 names of Yuga. Yuga means the divine combined Gandharvika Giridhari. 8 names of Radha Damodar. Radha Madhavayo Etan Vakshe Nama Yuga Ashtakam. These are the 8 names. Basically, he is glorifying, chanting the names of Radha and Krishna. like Radha Damodaro Purvam, Radha Damodar, Radha Madhavau Tata, Radha Madhav, Vrishabhanu Kumari Cha, daughter of Vrishabhanu, Tatha Gopendra Nandana, and um, Nand and son of Nanda Maharaj. Govindasya Priyasaki, Radharani's name, who is Priyasaki, very dear to Govinda. Govindasya Priyasaki, Gandharva Bandhavastatha, and Gandharva Bandhavastatha, who is very dear to Gandharva, who is to whom Gandharva is very dear. That Gandharva is again referring to Radharani. Name of Krishna. Nikunja Nagaro Ghoshta. Nikunja, one who engages in divine pastimes in Nikunja, the groves of Vrindavan, the caves of Govardhan. Kaishora Janashekaro, Kaishora Janashekaro, referring to Krishna, to whom uh, Gopas and Gopis are very dear. Kaishora. Vrindavanadhipau Krishna, Vallabha Radhika Priyo. Um, Again, the divine couple in Vrindavan, and to whom Radhika is very dear. Vallabha Radhika Priyo, another name of Krishna. So 8 names are mentioned, and this is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Oh, okay. This is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says about how to remove deceit. Let's have someone read it.
Once
Okay.
deceitful nature is removed,
Okay, my friend, you want to read? Yeah.
continue.
Okay, yeah. Instead, bathe in the love emanating from Sri Sri Gandharvika Giridhare. Once deceitful nature is removed, when the heart is completely pure with humility, taking shelter of such names and soaking one's mind in the spiritual rasas, please ceaselessly wander around in the land of Vrindavana, meditating on Sri Sri Radha Govinda pastimes. Throughout the periods of the day, Ashtakaliya Leela. Then the mind, purified by humility, will not give any space to deceit. Otherwise, the moment any other thought is given, an opening deceit again attacks.
Mm. So once deceitful nature is removed when heart is completely pure with humility. So one thing we have to do is um, take a humble position, um, take a humble position, and realize our deceitful nature. Now, of course, the process is not to meditate on how deceitful and hypocritical and crooked I am. That's not the process. The process is positive. But why this discussion help us understand and analyze, and so that when we act on that platform, we can at least try not to act, but we'll not be able to overcome that anartha of the subtle anartha of deceit that will happen when we realize and take a humble position. The heart is completely pure with humility, and then taking shelter of such names, um, and soaking one's mind in the spiritual lessons. So, in humility only, naturally, we hear Trinada Pisunichena. In humility only, we can take shelter of the names, because now we are eager for mercy. Till we become humble, we are not eager for mercy. When we don't realize of who really I am and that I need mercy, then our chanting will be more of mechanical. But when we realize that I'm helpless, I need help, it's too big of a force on me, then when we are completely um, empty of ourselves, then when we take shelter of the Lord, we can actually seek out their mercy. Taking shelter of such names and soaking one's mind in spiritual rasas. Please, please, please ceaselessly wander around in the land of Vrindavan, meditating on Shri Radha Govinda's pastimes throughout the periods of the day. Ashtakali Leela. Ashta is it. Ashtakaliya, Kal is time. Ashtakaliya Leela is eightfold many manifesting pastimes of Shri Gandharvika Giridhari. And when we meditate on them, and meditating while walking and wandering around Vrindavan, meditating on Shri Radha Govinda's pastimes throughout the period of the day Ashtakala Leela, then the mind purified by humility will not give any space to deceit. When we are constantly absorbed in bhajan, not like it includes seva, but seva in a right mood. Sometimes we are doing seva, but our mood is an enjoyer. Seva in the right mood. So purified by humility will not give any space to deceit. Otherwise, the moment any other thought is given an opening, deceit again attacks. When we are not absorbed um, in these names or in a divine consciousness, what am I doing? Why am I doing? Uh, um, then deceit will enter. Hypocrisy, duplicity, and all these things. Mind has to be filled with something. And as we know, Krishna Surasa Maya or Andhakar. The moment there is no Krishna, there is Andhakar. Jahan Krishna taha nahi Maya adhikar. Uh, um, so how do we overcome? Is we have to. The solution is again positive. We have to absorb ourselves in uh, in the names of the Lord. You have to absorb to begin with our 16 rooms to begin with, because if they are very deep, then that consciousness will fill us throughout the day. So we have to absorb ourselves with humility in the names, and if we can maintain our spiritual consciousness throughout the day, that day will become free from deceit. But till the time we are not able to absorb ourselves throughout the day in the loving pastimes of the Lord, any free moment deceit will attack. Deceit is so subtle, only surface we try to scratch by the mercy of Raghunath Das Goswami Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but it is described in millions of ways that deceit attacks. And the more we advance, it's so many ways that it cannot be described also. It's a very high platform to say Anya Bilashitam Shunyam, because so deeply ingrained is our tendency to be the enjoyer. And all this deceitful nature arises because of the tendency of being the enjoyer, or being in the center, or being respected. Um, Whatever it is, they all arise from that. So the solution is deeply meditating. Uh, Increasing our Krishna consciousness is a solution. Deeply absorbing with humility in the names of the Lord is a solution. Um, Meditating on the pastimes of the Lord, meditating on Vrindavan, um, um, constantly engaging in devotional service, especially the kind of service which is favorable for us, um, um, then we can overcome deceit. Okay, so we have come to the end. Now, uh, let's see the time. Okay, let's read. There are three. Just directly read the English. This is again the song. Sorry, continue.
Aside from desire, anger, and the other thieves, there is one subtler enemy of yours. His name is deceit and is also known as insincerity. That enemy is a tricky entity and is in the form of a donkey.
This enemy is also known as insincerity. Sincere means my goal is pakka, my desire, my endeavor, my direction is pakka. Insincere means cultivating another desires along with back to Godhead. Then we are termed as insincere. Okay. Who will lead?
My dear mind, Please try to understand the deeper essence. You are joyfully bathing in this donkey's urine by mistake, thinking it to be something pure.
Hmm. Again, requesting, please try to understand, try to realize where is real Krishna Bhakti and what is real Krishna Bhakti and what is not. Try to analyze, try to understand, try to not act on them. Please, please do that, my dear man. This is the last slide for today.
At the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunatha, Bhaktivinoda begs to see that beautiful ocean of the divine couple's love. A single drop from that ocean makes life worth living and steals away the hearts and minds of all living beings.
रूप रघुनाथा पाए ए भक्ति विनोदा छाए देखी युगल रासा सिंधु जीवना सार्थका करे सर्व जीव चित्ता हरे सई सागरेरा एका बिंदु सई सागरेरा eka bindu. One drop, a single drop from the ocean makes life worth living. And what is the single drop from the ocean of divine couples love? A single drop from the ocean makes life worth living and steals away the heart and mind of all living entity. So this is a solution part. At the lotus feet of Rup and Raghunath, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is begging to see that beautiful ocean of divine couples love, to see that, and so that he can absorb himself in the divine couple's oceanic love. A single drop of that can take the heart and mind and can capture it fully, and then we can we become free from deceit. Is by serving and absorbing in the oceanic love of the divine couple. Okay, so we have come to the end of sixth one. Um, unless anyone has anything.
Okay.
Everyone is always these days. Everyone is very quiet, very absorbing, and completely understanding. Very good. Very good. Do you like ManahShiksha? These teachings to the mind.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
I have one question.
okay.
Uh, can you please explain the Ashtakaliya Leela? I could not understand the term.
Ashtakali.
Yeah, Ashtakala Leela is something we can read in a very advanced stage. Ashtakala Leela means the eightfold manifest pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So these very advanced devotees, when they are free from anarthas, they read these pastimes because they are very confidential pastimes of the Lord. Like Krishna does something at 8 a.m., he does something at 9 a.m., he does something at 12 p.m., then does something at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 12 a.m., 2 a.m. So Krishna has, like, just like we say, Krishna's life is very regulated, and Krishna has certain activities that he does during the 8 times of the day, which is like morning, midday, afternoon, mid-afternoon, evening, mid-evening, night, midnight, early morning, and then morning. So these are 8 time zones. And when a devotee deeply reads and absorbs this Ashtakala Leela, then whatever time of the day he is in, he tries to meditate on what is Krishna doing at this point of time. What is Srimati Radha doing at this point of time? What are Gopas doing? What is Mother Yashoda doing? So he keeps on trying to practice this Ashtakala Leela meditations, and eventually he comes to a stage where he becomes fully absorbed in Krishna. These are described in some of the books by Rupa Goswami, and Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami described this in a book Govinda Leela Amrita. Um, um, One time Shyam Krishna was mentioning that very advanced sannyasi, he asked Bhakti Charu Maharaj that Maharaj, I am reading Ashtakali Leelas, and how do I remember? How do I become fully Krishna conscious? And Maharaj said, keep meditating on it and keep try to meditating on it. So the idea that since Raghunath Das Goswami book is very deep by nature, the solution is absorbing ourselves in the pastimes of Krishna throughout the day. And the deepest aspect of absorption comes when we try to meditate on Ashtakali Leela. Now, does that give an idea of the principle behind it?
Yes.
Is full day absorption in Krishna Leela. And at my stage, who am unqualified, we can chant extra rounds and we can read Srila Prabhupada books and we can try to absorb ourselves. And as we advance, we can take deeper and deeper steps in our own um, Krishna Bhakti. Okay. Any other question? Good. So can we end here then with all of your permission? Okay.
Okay, Babaji.
Okay. My obeisances to all of you. Vanchakalpa tarubhesha kripa sindhubhe eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for tolerating me. Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.